Happy Friday to you, everyone. Again, as always, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe out there. And I hope you're having great training sessions with your dog. I had a viewer question come in today and it asked me, Brian, must I train stay before I train place? That's a good question. No, you do not have to train stay before you train or the other. It's not going to be a big deal. So all that being said, let me kind of explain why. Okay, back in my competition days, way back many decades ago when I used to compete again in AKC, ring sports, shoots, and all those different types of competitions, we didn't have cots for them to be on. That wasn't part of the requirement. You had to tell the dog to either sit or lie down and remain there in a stay until they were either called to you or till you went back and released them. But even though there wasn't a thing called place back then, this is way back in the 1980s, early 90s, we were not teaching place. We were still teaching the animal the concept of place to help train stay. So that being said, in those days, we would use a mat. And we would take the dog and put the dog on the mat, tell it down, tell it stay. And the reason being is, if the dog broke the stay, then we would take the dog back to the mat because it had a focus point, a reference point. It was easier for the animal to understand the concept that wherever X marks the spot, wherever I'm told to stay, it means stay right here. It doesn't mean combat crawl over here. It doesn't mean get up and just go lay in the shade over there. It doesn't mean, okay, or did you mean to stay in the front yard, Brian, or did you mean actually stay right here? It was easier for them to grasp the concept of stay if there was an actual physical place to stay. And then as the training progressed, the mat simply got smaller and smaller till they're finally just lying on a dish rag. Yeah, anything. One paw on it, that was it. And then finally, even that was gone. But by then, the concept was deeply set. The behavior was very firm, all the way over there in procedural memory land, which is awesome because now it didn't matter. No matter where I told you to lay down, no matter where I told you to stay, that's where you remained. But today, hey, it's all about working smarter, not harder. So when we train place here, when I train place, I get captain off of this. Free. Place. When we're first teaching place, we say stay when we leave. Okay, this is a dog. If this is a different dog that has no concept of place, no concept of stay, I'm going to put him on the cot, I'm going to say stay, and walk away. And the reason why I'm doing this is I'm building two houses at the same time. I'm building a home inside of a home. So it's just kind of used as a visual example. Imagine you're building this massive home. That's called place. And at the same time, you've got carpenters inside of that dwelling building a smaller home. That's stay. Yeah, you're building them at the same time. And to kind of give you an example, I had a client with a 10-month-old golden doodle. She was an older lady. She was retired, so she had a lot of time to work with her dog. I taught her place and said, tell your dog stay. And she goes, why? And I tried to explain it many times. I don't know what was wrong on that particular day. Either I was very lousy at trying to get my point across, or she was just having an off day and she just wasn't getting it. But either way, to keep a simple, stupid rule, which I always live by, I just told her, tell you what, just put your dog on that cot, tell it place, tell it stay, trust me, you and I will get together again in a couple of weeks, and when we do, I'll elaborate mostly on stay because you will have accomplished place. So she went home and she did that. And she came back, she goes, Brian, I think I've done a good job. I said, have you? She goes, yeah, so good as a matter of fact that I bet you $20 you can't get my dog off of that cot. I'm like, okay, well there's one little problem. See, I'm married. And when you're married, you don't have any cash. So I didn't have any cash to bet, so I asked her if I could use a line of credit. She goes, your credit's good with mine. So she took my credit. I did everything I could. Joshua did everything that he could. We ganged up on this dog. I pulled out every trick in the bag, and I couldn't get a 10-month-old golden doodle to get off of that cot. And I said, well done, I owe you 20 bucks. She goes, great, all right, now I want to work on stay. Remember you said we'd work on stay? And I go, I know, but I lied, because here's why. We've already done it. She goes, what do you mean? I go, it means this. Free. Stay. I said, now, let's walk up to the lobby. I've got some cameras. Let's just spy on your dog. And I'm going to have my team do everything to your dog now that we did when it was on the cot. Let's see what happens. Same thing. I lost another 20 bucks. We could not get her dog to break the down stay. She was befuddled. She goes, I don't get this, Bryan. I never did this. I did exactly what you told me to do. I put my dog on the cot. I said place to get on it. I said stay when I walked away. That's all I worked on for 2 solid weeks. Lesson after lesson. I never did this. How come the dog is doing this? I go, because you built a house within a house. Yeah, the only risk we run now is if the dog falls asleep because you get busy doing something, talking to someone, you're distracted, and the dog falls asleep because it doesn't have a book to read, doesn't have the internet to surf, TV to watch, so it falls asleep. There's no guarantee that the dog will wake up and go, ah, hey, was I in a stay? No, there's no guarantee. But if your dog wakes up over on this cot, yeah, now it's going to go, oh God, I'm still in a stinking cot. Yeah, that's why the place on a mat or on a cot or on a park bench, on any sort of physical reference, will serve to anchor the dog there in that spot, even if it falls asleep. It's a reminder of where I am supposed to be and what I am supposed to do. So to answer your question, does the dog have to know stay before you train place? No. In fact, I prefer that it actually doesn't. I'd rather you just do place by itself. Make sure you get both commands. So again, in a review, free, tell the dog, place. Reward the dog always for going to place. Yeah, hey, you did a great job, cow dog. Once the dog takes the treat and has ingested the treat, is now refocused on you, stay. Give me a big old hand signal there too. Dogs lower their eyes first. Give that auditory stay. If you want to, you can even touch the dog. Stay. Give it a little haptic signal. Move away. And do all your training the way you're supposed to. I've done videos already on place behavior itself. Go review those videos. And just keep saying the word stay when you walk away. I guarantee you this. When dogs come in for a board and train program here at Taming the Wild, we're training stay and we're training place. But if they're here for a 14-day program, for 10 days, it is only this. It is not stay on the ground. It's about being efficient, economics, making sure that this behavior is deeply set, muscle memory, focus. You're going to be far more aware when you step off that cot than if you just stand up on the ground and walk off. We don't allow big mistakes. Start right, end right. No big mistakes. Be on there. In the beginning, we say stay, we move away, we hold that line. You start to step off? No. Place. Stay. So it's always place. It's always stay. Always place. Always stay. Always, always, always. And then only after this is very solid, free. Then move on to either a sit, stay, or a down, stay, and do the same procedure again. Move away, long line in your hand, work it, work it, work it till you can finally let go of that line, till you can finally do it with no line whatsoever. The dog can be totally off the leash. Stay. Don't have to worry about it. So there you go. That's it in short. I actually prefer if you don't train stay first, because too many big mistakes can be made. But if you do, use something like a mat, and to me, that's place. So do place, then do stay. And I guarantee you, at the end of the day, both behaviors will be rock solid. Just like you, cattle dog. Free! Attaboy, buddy. Good job indeed. And always reward your dog. Attaboy, cattle dog. Good job. Okay, guys, that's it for Friday here. This is Labor Day weekend. If you're headed out in the world, make sure you travel safe. Make sure you take your mask with you. Make sure you wash your hands. And make sure if you take your dog with you, try to keep everything the same. Routine's the same. Feed your dog about the same time. Keep things familiar. Dogs thrive on what is familiar. But most of all, enjoy this weekend. Take a little break from the world right now. Go enjoy it. But make sure you tune in tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday, because even though it's a holiday weekend, no holiday for me. I'm going to be back here tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday with new information for you. So make sure you tune in. All right, you guys ready to go? I'm ready to go. Check you later. Bree, let's go, buddy. Come on, cow dog.